Hi, my name is Sylvain Maseren and I'm applying as literary instructor here at NORSU, and this is my teaching demo. So the topic for tonight is stories. No? So before we begin, so there are three forms of literature. No? The first is poetry, the second is nonfiction, and the third is fiction. Try to guess which of the three is the most popular. Of course, it's fiction. And then the second most popular is nonfiction. The least popular is poem, although that can be debated. For example, because songs, a form of poetry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. No, we have concerts like Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, Taylor Swift, but that's a discussion for another day. No, but we are here to discuss about stories. No? Again, fiction is the most popular form of literature. Why? Because it is usually in the form of stories and not usually lyrical. So, what makes stories so popular? No? What makes stories so popular? No? Unlike poetry, like for example, if you present these two forms of literature to a common person, no, you let them read a poem or you let them read a story, no, or you let them listen to a poem or you let them listen to a story, there is a higher chance that they will focus more on stories, in the story, no, compared to the poem. Why? Because unlike poems, stories has the power, has the ability to put the listener in the shoes of the main character or the protagonist, or in fact, any character within the story, and let the listener or the reader experience the story for themselves. That's the power of stories. In fact, stories has been used since ancient times to pass down wisdom, and history from tribe to tribe, from family, from kingdom to kingdom, because stories, they retell the human experience, again. So just like a child, for example, ako, let's use myself as an example. For example, why is it that my virtue is very nationalistic, although my parents, my family are mostly American citizens, I choose to stay here. I choose to be nationalistic. Why? Because I was influenced by the character Captain America. Although yes, Captain America is American, but his virtue of being nationalistic and a fighter of freedom, and equality, that transferred to me, as if I see myself in Captain America, and Captain America's quote-unquote soul also is transferred to me. And that is the reason why, in a sense, I see my life through the lens of Captain America. So basically, stories has the power of letting another person or the listener experience another life that is not theirs. That's the beauty and the power of stories, In fact, people can learn from the successes and the failures of the stories characters, Like for example, the reason why humans are much better than animals is because, unlike animals, humans can learn to avoid danger through the experience of someone else. Like for example, let's just say, huy, ayaw agi dito ha, kay nabaya ko'y nakitaan dito nga gikaon sila og buaya. So ikaw, ikaw as listener, you can already picture it in your mind what a crocodile looks like, what the danger looks like. So you will be more aware that that place is filled with alligators or crocodiles. No, unlike animals, no, who does not have this ability, even though one of their family members has been eaten by the predator, another family member might still go there because again, they don't have the ability to share their experience. And this is the power of stories, no? In fact, stories stories is a multi-billion-dollar industry, no? Cinemas, Avengers, na especially Marvel Avengers, grabe. Very multi-billion-dollar industry. Spider-Man 3 palang daan, no? Reached more than $1 billion in revenue, no? For example, video games, no? Video games tell a lot of stories. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Netflix is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's an app for stories. Novels, no? Although kanang rarely ra ang mga authors excuse me. Although rarely ra authors they do get rich from writing. One of the exceptions is J.K. Rowling, no? But novels, no, as they become more popular, movies adapt them, and then after that, because of movies and video games, the author of the novel become more popular, no? And stories include comics and even stand-up comedy. All right. So tonight we will be learning about the basics of storytelling, no? And we will be talking about the story circle by Dan Harmon. Next, please. So Dan Harmon, who is Dan Harmon? So Dan Harmon is basically a Hollywood scriptwriter, no, and also a director. He is next, please. He is the creator and the director of the very famous cartoon Rick and Morty. No, are you familiar with Rick and Morty? If you're not, give it a try. It's very interesting. It talks about science fiction, time travel, the possibilities of a multiverse. That's the gist of the series. Next, please. No. So the story circle is derived from Joseph Campbell's original theory of the monomyth or the hero's journey. No. So what happens is, see, Joseph Campbell is an American literature professor, no, who made it his life's work to research ancient mythology, no, because he realized that when he was a kid, as he was growing, he realized that all stories across all cultures and across all languages are very similar in pattern. Like so similar. For example, the story of Jesus Christ is very similar with the story of Hercules. No? Like Jesus Christ is Jewish or Hebrew, and then Hercules is Greek. And I think Hercules, the story of Hercules is a much older story than the story of Jesus Christ. Yet these two stories are very similar. In fact, it's still similar with the jaguar twin brothers in Mayan mythology. No, but the point here is Joseph Campbell realized that almost all, in fact, if not all stories across all culture, ancient mythology, they all follow a very similar pattern. So he wrote this in his research, and he basically entitled it the theory of the hero's journey. Next, please. So Dan Harmon's story circle. So Dan Harmon, again, the Hollywood writer and script director, devised a much simplified hero's journey. No, he calls it the story circle. So the story circle, the story circle is Dan Harmon's greatest contribution to Hollywood up to date. No, because it gives a very solid and clear map for young scriptwriters and even older scriptwriters to where their story where their story will go. All right. So here, so there are eight. As you can see, there are 8 steps in Dan Harmon's story circle. No, the first one is the first stage. No, the first stage is the comfort zone. So this zone is usually where the main character is with his status quo, like for example, family, no, his village, no, or basically his daily routine or normal life, no. And then after that, stage 2 is need or desire. The main character desires something, no, or at least needs something. For example, no, the child. Let's just say the child is a main character, no. So comfort zone. So the comfort zone is the child grew up without a father, no. As the child grew, she begins to question who his father is. So there's stage number 2, desire to know who her father is, no. Next is we go to stage 3, no. They enter into an unfamiliar situation, no. So here, in our example, the child, for example, leaves the house and tries to find her father in a different city, no, in a different country, no. So everything is very unfamiliar to her. The customs, the language, no. Kindly go on the screen. Nadili mo lihok. Okay. Tandoga lang palihok. There we go. All right. And then number 4 is adapt. Okay. So back to our story. So the child begins to adapt in the new environment, no. And then number 5 is get what they wanted, no. So in the story, the child finally meets her father, no, for her father. Then number 6, they pay a heavy price, no. So most when you hear you pay a heavy price, this can usually mean negative, but not necessarily. For example, we can put this in 2 ways: a negative and positive. In the negative aspect, or in the negative approach, no, she will pay the price by knowing that her father doesn't actually care about her, no. In fact, her father, aside that the father does not know her, the father doesn't, give a damn about her, and this breaks her heart. That's the negative approach. The positive approach could be like the father finally finds her or finally sees her, and in fact loves her so much, and then after that the girl realizes that she wants to be with her father more than with her mother. So she pays a heavy price by choosing to be with the father than with the mother, no. It could be like that. Then we enter stage number 7, return to comfort zone, no. Depending on the approach of the story, if we approach it through the positive side of the story, no, she joins her father and lives with her father, and then after that, having changed, no, in stage 8, the final stage, no, this time her life returns to a new normal, but this time her mother is not with her in her life. It's now her father. So as you can see, that's how the story circle works. Now let's use a much more popular story, no. Let's use Harry Potter, please. All right. So let's use Harry Potter book 1, no? Book 1, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So Stage 1, we know, no? We know from the movie, no, that the comfort zone is that Harry Potter lives with the Dursleys. The Dursleys is his adoptive family. In fact, we know that the boy lives under a cupboard, no? Cupboard under the stairs, no? And then after that, his normal life is the Dursleys are cruel to him. No, all his life he does not feel loved. He does not feel special. He does not feel he does not belong. No, and the Dursleys make sure he feels that way. No, stage 2. Stage 2 is desire. No, because he does not feel this familial love. He always wonders who could have been who his parents kinsa ang iyang parents gyud sa tinuod, no? So Harry wants to know more about his parents, and then the letter arrives, no? Remember that letter from the owl arrives, no? Stage 3, please. There. And then after that, when he finally receives the letter to Hogwarts, no? To Hogwarts, he enters into an unfamiliar situation. He goes to Hogwarts for the first time. No, remember that? Like, he meets the Weasleys, no, the Weasleys, and then after that they went to the train station. They went to the special tunnel that like is a brick wall, and then they go inside, and then there's this train station, and then the train station brings them to the magical world, no, and everything is so unfamiliar to him, no. Next, please. Stage 4. No? Next is Harry tries to adapt. No? Because it is his first time in the magical world. No? There are so many new terminologies, new buzzwords, new customs, new people, new creatures, no? New experiences. Everything is so new to him. It could be good. It could also be bad. No? No? Like, for example, this scene where he is very anxious that the Sorting Hat would put him in Slytherin. He really wanted to be in Gryffindor. No? Stage 4. Stage 5, please. No? And then in his journey in his journey in Hogwarts, no, he also did not forget his true desire, no, which was to know who his parents were. No? So, get what they want. He finally finds out that his parents, he finally found out who his parents were, no? But he also knows that his parents were killed by the most evil sorcerer of them all, Voldemort, no? Stage 6, no? And then he pays a heavy price, no? We can see that through the climax, no, the adventure, no, katong the part where they like rode the human-sized chessboard, no, and then after that, katong there was Cerberus, remember, and then after that, then he meets the teacher with two faces, with the face of Voldemort at the back of his head, no. Harry Potter paid a heavy price. Some of his friends got injured. His innocence was lost. Also, he lost a very favorite teacher. Teacher Squirrel? No, I think it was Teacher Squirrel. I forgot his last name. But the fact that he found out that one of his favorite teachers, the teacher of his dark magic subject, is actually a servant of Voldemort, that really hurt him. No, he paid a heavy price. Stage 7, please. No, and then after that, when he won the fight, no, he returned to his comfort zone. He went back to the Dursleys, no, because the school year ended. Next, please. Even though he returned to quote unquote a normal to normalcy, it's a new normal. No, it's a new normal. No, because he is forever changed. He is no longer the unloved boy. No, he's no longer the unloved boy. He is now a very special, in fact, chosen child nga sorcerer. No, he now knows his destiny. His destiny is to defeat Voldemort. All right? So, that's the lesson for tonight. That's the lesson for tonight, and that is the story circle. I hope you enjoyed our lecture.